Alright, so how concerned should I be that the cashier at the used bookstore remembered my name for more than 6 months? Hello, welcome back to Bibliostrand. Today I'd like to do something new. I went to the used bookstore after work today and just got a few books. But I saw a cashier who works there, and he's the one who checks me out a lot of the time. Except since I've been in Alaska, I haven't been there since Christmas time. So the last time I saw him was either November or December. But he remembered my name. And it's not the first time that a store has recognized me and known my preferences. But generally, when that happens, it's in a much smaller community. This is a proper city, and he was able to pick me out and recall my name 6 months later, so I maybe go to this store too much. Oh well. I'd like to show you what I picked up today. I just got, let's see, I'll count them up. 2, 4, 7 books. First I got the Great Illustrated Classics copy of Journey to the Center of the Earth. I've been picking up the books in this particular collection for a while now. I'd like to, at some point, compare the actual classic to the Great Illustrated Classic version. I remember reading a few of these when I was a kid and really enjoying them. I'd like to see how well they hold up compared to their inspirations. Alright, as you know, I've been working my way through Shakespeare. I picked up a copy of the complete works of William Shakespeare. I already have the little blue ones, those Yale editions, minus Taming of the Shrew, I believe. Everything else I can pinpoint where it is. It's either in the mail or on a shelf here. But I can never find Taming of the Shrew, so I think that when I got the collection from the library sale, that book just wasn't there. Anyhow, I have really been struggling with a couple of them, and I just can't wait until August to continue with my challenge. So I picked this up so I could follow along with the audiobook on the ones I'm struggling with. It was pretty cheap, and it's a really nice copy. It's kind of got this velvety texture, which I should dislike, but I don't. And it's illustrated. There were some other cheaper copies, but not that much cheaper. It's only $10, and I haven't actually seen any of the illustrations. Let's see just how crazy this is. All right, well, that's a pretty standard illustration, I think. Looks like there might be an illustration at the beginning of each play. Speaking of which, here's Taming of the Shrew. Yep. Looks like there's probably an illustration at the beginning of each. And also in the Shakespeare section, I found this one. It's called Pop Sonnets. I don't know if you've ever seen the Shakespeare translation of Star Wars, and I believe there's a Doctor Who one as well. But this is that same concept, except applied to pop songs. So let's see. Thou art a flame that burns within my breast, the singular desire within my heart. Believe my wish, most solemnly professed, that we should ne'er again be made apart. Yet we are twain, it seems thou art worlds away. I cannot reach thee with my outstretched hand, to soothe thy aching soul if thou should say, thy heart had other circumstances planned. Pray speak of why our love such torment holds, and prithee say why this must folly be. No, tell me not. I fear what might unfold if our two fondest hopes should not agree. I cannot hold my passion long at bay, for I do want love fashioned strong that way. That is a Shakespearean translation of Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way. It would make for a hilarious guessing game, I believe, with the right group of people. You need to get a group of people who are familiar with Shakespearean language and pop songs, but it might be a fun little game. Something I was talking about with my roommate is that after I do Shakespeare, I would like to move on and try Dickens. I would never do the complete Dickens unless I just fall absolutely in love. He wrote a lot. There's so much Dickens. But I think selected Dickens would be great. I've read Christmas Carol and I absolutely loved it. We read some of the Great Expectations in high school and I really liked that. And I think that there are individual lines from Charles Dickens which are as good as Shakespeare. So I'd be interested in going for him next. I found this. It's the Dickens Encyclopedia. It's basically just an encyclopedia of all things Dickens. We've got characters, places. Yeah, characters and places. That's what I'm seeing right now. But I think it would be very helpful. I actually should see if I can scrounge one of those up for Mr. Shakespeare. And then I got cheap copies. Tale of Two Cities and Hard Times. This is the Tale of Two Cities copy I remember reading in high school. I got this for $2, but I don't know if you can see it. I think somebody bit this book. Do you see those teeth marks? Used bookstores are a fantasy world. All right. And then lastly, I picked up What If You Broke All the Rules? A Choose Your Destiny novel. This is about the thickest one I've ever seen, but apparently it's part of a series. And that kind of segues into what I'm going to do today. So, for the past little while, I have been collecting, when I find them at thrift stores, used bookshop, garage sales, different copies of what are they called? Interactive game novels, I think. But basically, this is what you're going to be most familiar with. It's the Choose Your Own Adventure. And I have several different kinds. All right, so, whoa. I've got flip them over, all of these, and there might be some repeats in there. Like I said, I've been picking them up secondhand pretty cheap. I really need to go through these. All of these, whoa, from the classic Choose Your Own Adventure series. These ones, which are kind of junior versions of the, not you. These ones, which are kind of junior versions of the Choose Your Own Adventure series. Same company, slightly shorter, and actually, oh no, I don't. I thought that I had both the new copy and the old copy of this one, so I might have to dig around a little bit more. Found another classic one. The one I just picked up today. These ones, which are kind of based on historical events, the attack on Pearl Harbor, Revolutionary War, Civil War. I'm not quite certain I'm ready to hop into those ones yet today. I don't know if I want to join the Civil War. These ones, which are books 1 through 4, woo, the Oregon Trail interactive books, Choose Your Own Trail, which I'm guessing lots of roads lead to dying by dysentery in those ones. These ones are various ones I've picked up at thrift marts. We've got, I think, all of these. These are called Endless Quest books, and they are from the producers of Dungeons and Dragons. Got numbers 3, 8, 13, 14, and 15. And then what's this one called? This book is sort of the Samurai, but I don't know what the series is. So there's that one. And then Super Endless Quest. I could not confirm or deny to you if that's associated with Endless Quest. But the Super Endless Quest adventure game book. And like I said, I know I have some other ones knocking about somewhere. My library is in total need of reorganization. So that brings us to today's core concept, is that I'm going to pick a book and then let Google make the choices for me, and we're going to read it together. Because this concept is long, I'm going to be eliminating this one. I don't really feel the history ones today, so I'm eliminating those 3 plus the Oregon Trail books. I think for today we are just going to choose from, the junior and classic Choose Your Own Adventure. So I'm going to put them all into my handy dandy bag. And I realize I can kind of tell the difference between the junior and the classics just by touch. They're completely different sizes. But I'm going to try to be honest and just, grab the first one that really I get a hold of. So I'm going to pick 3. And then we will let my handy dandy random number generator from Google pick which book we are going to do. So let's pull it up. Random number generator. And honestly, I think that Google thinks I live by the random number generator. I use it so many times. I use it for picking students in class. I use it for coming up with scenarios in like little fictions I write when I do some practice writing. All right, random number generator. Why do I have to type it all the way? All right. So there you have my random number generator. I'm going to have it select from 1 to 3. But first, I'm going to pick out books I'm not even going to look until... All right, I'm back. Kind of ran out of memory there, and the camera just stopped. I had already drawn all 3, but I have only seen the back cover of one of them, so I still don't know what the other 2 are. All right. We have this one. It's one of the junior ones, and it's Your Very Own Robot. We'll make that number 1 on the random number generator. The Lost Jewels of Nabuti. We'll make that number 2. This is kind of the one that started it all. And so I have not read the other 2, but I have read, I think, every possible permutation of this one. Trying not to have it reflect so much light. The Magic of the Unicorn. And the unicorn ones, like, I read some of these as a kid, but I don't think I've read either of the two I just showed you. I've read some of this series, but these are the ones that I've read as an adult, are the unicorn books. All right, that'll be number 3. So, just to recap, 1, whoa, 2, 3. All right. Let's pull this up. Ready, set, number 1. All right. Your very own robot. This is a really short one. So, because it is, I don't know that they call it the junior books, but it's kind of how they look. Plus they are heavily illustrated in color, as opposed to these ones, which are much more reliant on text. All right. So now how it's going to go is I'm going to start at the beginning just like you normally would. And then the random number generator is going to pick every option for me. I'm going to put 1 through 100 just because if you only have 1 and 2, it can be hard to tell sometime if you've gotten the button pushed. I just feel more confident that I have in fact changed the number when there's a large pool. So actually I probably don't need to go through 100. Let's do 1 through 10. 1 through 10. And then if there are only 2 choices, odd numbers will be the first choice and even numbers will be the second choice. If I come upon a choice with 3 options, then I will change my generator to 1 through 6 and do 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. All right. So let's go ahead and start. Have you ever read a book that's about you? This book is. Your parents are scientists. One day, they throw out some pieces of a robot in the trash. If you can figure out how to put the pieces together, you'll have a robot of your very own. But do you know enough to control it, or will it take over your school? You choose what happens next. Except we're giving away all that freedom, letting Google choose for us. Let's see if I can situate so that we can, I'll read this like I read it to my class. Yeah, with the display. Just the standard warning. Don't read this book straight through. Everybody wants a robot. Only a few people get to have one. That's because robots are hard to make, and they also cost a lot of money. You are one of the lucky ones who gets to own a robot. Here's how it happens. Your mom and dad are scientists. They work with robots every day. Sometimes they even build them. One day they build a robot that seems to do everything wrong. I've tried to fix it and I can't, your father says. So he tosses the robot into the trash. Poor robot, you say. Mom and Dad gave up on you too fast. I think I can fix you up. I've seen them build lots of robots. You collect nuts, bolts, some wire, and leftover computer parts. Bang! Twist! You work on your robot all day long. Soon it starts to look much better. You look so good, I'm going to give you a name, you tell it. So you name your robot Gus. There's still more work, you tell your robot. You could use a few coats of paint, but I'd really like to turn you on now and see what you can do. Your robot should work just as well without paint, shouldn't it? All right, we've reached our first junction. If you turn your robot on right away, go to page 7. If you paint him first, turn to page 9. All right, so odd number, we're going to turn it on right away. Even number, we're going to paint it. Ugh, that's hard to... All right, odd number, we're going to turn it on right away. You turn your robot on. Click. He stands up. He sure is tall. Your robot flashes red and blue lights, and his eyes shine bright yellow. Bloop dee beep, he says, holding out his arms to you. Bleep do beep, I'm all yours. Terrific, you tell him. Now I'll turn on your computer. Beep, buzz. He works, you shout. I fixed him. Then you see a dial on the side of your robot. The dial has numbers from 1 to 100. A sign says, turn the dial to your age. So you do. Bleep, says your robot. Now I can take you on an adventure that's perfect for you. You're not sure if you should go on any adventures yet. After all, you have never used a robot by yourself before. If you switch your robot off and ask your parents how to work him, go to page 12. If you use your robot right away, turn to page 15. All right, odd number, parental advice. Even number, plowing on ahead by ourselves. Even number. Onward-o! You want to use your robot right away. First, you take him out and introduce him to your friends. I want you to meet my robot, Gus, you tell them. I fixed him myself. Ooh, page 59. Show us, they say. You press your robot's jump button. Your robot jumps 6 feet into the air. Back to page 18. Now stop, you shout. But your robot keeps jumping. Come back, you yell, chasing him. Your robot jumps into an ice cream factory. He keeps jumping until he lands in an enormous tub of strawberry ice cream. Lump, he yells. I'm not programmed to swim. You know how to swim, but the ice cream looks very cold and thick. What if you sink down in it forever? If you dive in to save your robot, go to page 33. If you yell for help, go to page 38. All right. Saving the robot, odd number. Calling for help, even number. Calling for help. Page 38. Help, you yell. Zeep, zoop, your robot says as he sinks deeper into the strawberry ice cream. The president of the ice cream factory comes running. He gets you a rubber raft and you jump on it. You row your robot back to safety. Bleep, eep, he says. Thanks. That will be $800 for ruining my ice cream, says the president. But I don't have $800, you say. Then you must go to jail, says the president. Oop, whispers your robot. press my zip button and I can get us out of here. But will he just get you deeper into trouble? If you decide you'd better go to jail, turn to page 43. If you press the robot zip button, turn to page 45. All right, odd number jail, even number zip. Zip it is. Page 45. You press your robot's zip button. Suddenly your robot shoots out paper. Now press my print button, he says. So you do. He starts printing out money. He prints out exactly $800. Thanks, says the president of the ice cream factory. Now go away. You run out very happy. What a great robot you are, you say. You are going to print lots of money and make me rich. Zoop, sorry, says your robot. I only print money once every 100 years. Why didn't you say that before? You moan. You are so disappointed that you don't talk to your robot for the rest of the day. Well, maybe I will never be rich, you say, but at least I don't have to go to jail. The end. All right, well, much to my happiness, the random number generator got us out alive. And I feel like in the junior books, the consequences probably aren't quite so dire as in the full strength books. So anyway, that was our first choose your own adventure number generated story. Thanks for listening. Bye.